Good morning, everyone. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And wow, right now we're in an energy spike, and I've not really seen. In fact, I was just, getting to this place to do this show. To before I didn't even really look, so I'm gonna grab it really fast and just see what's going on. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Schumann resonance. So the Schumann's back to stabilized, or at least that static energy in the background. I'll show it to you. This is an app, and so you can't actually pull it up on the screen. So it's not, sometimes doesn't work. See this spike right here, this really big one. This happening last night. It started uh, oh, I can't remember anymore. This is a UTC time. So, but anyway, right now we're in an energy spike is all I'm saying. So I know that I was just catching something. Also, a few different notifications popped up that I haven't had the chance to click, but I did see a few people had made recently within the past couple of hours videos regarding a new sunspot code. I love the sunspot number, sun 411. I believe that's right. Is that it? Yep, 4114. Okay, so there's the palindrome in it. There's the lowdown, the 411 in the States, or at least it used to be. I don't even know if people do that anymore. You dial 411 and you get information. And so that's the code for this. So, and then you have the 144,000 stuff going on. So anyway, it's just very interesting. I feel like it has a lot to do with this particular sunspot and what's going on with that. So, and much more. Something else that I've gotten recently is that many of the things that we are getting from the sun reports aren't complete, maybe not accurate, or missing information. So, I mean, use your own discernment. That's the only thing we really can do, right? So, as a result, though, okay, so let's get back to focus. As a result, I am feeling very scattered. I'm feeling I'm having a really euphoric, as well as like the opposite of euphoric sensations at the same time regarding like energy that I'm in, because it feels very unfamiliar but familiar at the same time. We are reaching a new frequency, and so this is feeling kind of like jitters inside of like your organs, like there's a jittering inside the organ. And I'm talking about, for me, like most of the main ones down lower, I'm not just talking about intestines and stuff. So anyway, as well as heart palpitations, as well as a lot of what seems like end of life review type of things, information, memories, moments from before popping up right in front of you, almost like PTSD. If it's traumatic, then it feels like PTSD, unless you know what's going on. I found that to be true for me. This for me happened more than any other time during Lionsgate. That's actually how I discovered the gates. And most people, that's how they discover them. But during these times of heightened frequency that's being delivered to you, it's a quantity of mana. And this mana is able to, wow, I forgot about that code that I got last night about mana. Mana is a thing about, I gotta tell you. Okay, I'll try to remember. I already lost my train of thought. I got really excited about something happened last night. I'm gonna shift because it's now just they were talking about my guides, and some really high frequency beings and I were having this conversation. I totally forgot about it. This is during this really, what I did last night is I went to bed really late and slept for 2 hours, woke up for 2 hours, slept for 2 hours. And this is, you got me. And during this really intense time when I was sleeping for 2 hours the first time, this was the big spike that we were getting with the Schumann resonance. Okay. And they were showing me that the mana that we talk about has to do with the energy that we consume in a way. For instance, this experiment that I've done with my daughter and her friends before, that is just so much fun to me because I can see energy. And a lot of us can if we let ourselves. if we release what we expect to see. Anyhow, is that I had 5 friends, and my daughter was at the front, and I had a cherry tomato plant, and it was time to harvest, right? And it was really fascinating because she would pick them, and some of the energy that were glowing off of these little cherry tomatoes kind of diminished a little bit when she picked them, and then she handed them to the next friend, and she kept one, and like it went down the line, and each time, and you could see upon her hands there was a glow that was kind of like absorbing, like a napkin being set on top of a slightly wet surface, almost is crazy. And down the line, there was less and less and less of it. And I've forgotten about that. Like, I guess I didn't even really consider what they were teaching me by having me do this, because it was something that we were doing together. Anyhow, this is manna. This is so the soonest that you can eat something, if you can eat something immediately after harvesting it, then you can have a higher quantity of its manna. Or in another way of saying it, taking it and just walking in and cooking it right away if you need to cook it. It's just something that I derailed my conversation about Ascension Symptoms because of this download that happened in this conversation that I had with my guides and some really crazy, awesome, high frequency beings. So anyway, well, I'm sorry about that. Welcome, everybody. I told you I'm in a weird, it's high energy. Hello, Carolina. How are you doing? A lot of hip kind of stuff. A lot of back stuff. Okay. There's a lot of activations we're getting in the back. We don't want to forget about all that stuff's going on. I found that my feet, it's weird on either side, but not at the same time. So like on the pad below my baby toe, like that, like deep aching, like some real stuff going on there. And as soon as that one resolved, the other side was doing it. I mean, I'm talking about over a series of days, it finally went away. And then, and this is something, it turns out, that other people are having too. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't really know what that was. I don't tend to wear shoes. And so like, unless I have to, but I thought maybe that had something to do with that. Anyway, along with that, incredible thirst, weird appetite. I have no desire to really to eat anything. I'm just doing it because I have to, or not have to, but because my body's asking me to. And so what I'm finding is the kinds of things that I'm consuming are just more of like juices and stuff, teas, and I haven't actually had any juice or anything like that yet today, but interesting stuff like that. Crazy sleep patterns, deeply profound memory regarding these dreams for a lot of people. All of a sudden, for the first time, maybe, like also returning to memory of dreams. Hi, Barbara. Hi, everyone. Northwest Florida checking in. All right. Hey, how's it going in Florida? It was crazy looking at the lightning map last night. That's been very fascinating to watch how that's going. So how are things over there? It certainly seems like it, says Joshua, about the energy spike. Yeah, definitely feeling it, man. I'm still feeling it. And I'm super thirsty. So just excuse me, please. Hold on one second. I should have had a big drink before I started, but I was delayed because my power had gone out again. So I had to restart everything. And then they wanted me to sign into this thing and then update it. And it happened last night for a session too. It's really annoying. Hello, April. Hi, Mila and Soul Family. What a day indeed. Man, this energy is just coming in full on. And like the amount of downloads and inner knowings that are coming in, it's like a returning to what you already know. And so it's hard to remember that it's something to remark about, because you're not learning something new. You're returning to you. You're being reconnected with your own knowledge. It's really weird. And it's kind of crazy. And it requires someone to ask the question, to jog that information from you, It's crazy. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Mila. Hi, all. Love from Scotland. Good to see you, Ralph. Soul Giraffe, hello. Much love to you, Mila, and our entire family here. So good to see you. Welcome, everybody. I see vegan vixens in the audience, but you're commenting on people, so I'm gonna. But good to see you, vegan vixen. Deborah, yeah, dude, some crazy energies coming in. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Jittering is rather an understatement. Traumatic and painful. Thank you, Mila, for the validation. Thank you very much. Because this is when we're talking about this whole like uh, um, crazy motion that is happening, and it can feel very alarming. And also, along with this same line, this is something I've been having, is these electric jolts through my body. Like, I mean, it felt kind of like, was it nerve? What's going on? And these electric jolts are usually connected. Like the one I was having the most was like the crux of the elbow, like the Maddie calls it her elbow armpit, or her elbow pit. It's so funny. But the elbow pit, right? My daughter's so awesome. Anyway, so like a little surge, like electric jolt there, almost simultaneous, if not simultaneous, to like a jolt, like on your shoulder blade on the same side. It was concerning me a little bit at first. It was, and because it was the left side that I was having it on, and then I started to have it on the right side, almost like exactly. And I even in the great discomfort of the moment, out loud, I said, thank you. Because I was so glad to see that it is on the other side too, because there's that part of me that's like, no, I'm good. No, you're good. So there's that human thing that we still do. And so for me, it's trying to not go into the fear of it. I did, and I reached out to a few people and stuff, but just to give you that guidance, if you do feel the need, and if you're very concerned, by all means, go to a doctor, have them check your heart or check whatever, just using your own discernment of what you're going to do with the information that they give you, and I found in the beginning, it was really validating to go to the doctor, because they would always remark that I was healthier than I've ever been. Every time I was more and more healthy as I arrived to the doctor's office. And these are the years when I wasn't taking their medications any longer, so that helped me to stop being in the fear about a lot of these physical sensations that we're having, in particular when it has to do with things like the heart. It's very concerning, so by all means, whatever feels good to you. It's also very useful to be in the audience or part of these kinds of conversations, because I bet, I haven't gone down and looked yet, but I bet that there's a lot of other people that are all saying, yeah, me too, and so that helps to see. And then we're a representation of people all over the planet. It's fascinating. I just got a readout of the different countries where these videos are watched, and like just translated to their language, the local language. And so just keeping that in mind, that everyone is feeling these things. And so when you look through and see those comments, and you can see that, it's very helpful, so we don't have to go into the fear of it. Joshua says 100% about energy feeling traumatic if you don't know what is happening. Yeah, dude. I have to remind myself sometimes, and then it makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly what this community, what is community? Is communication and unity. And that's what we're doing. We're having a unified sharing of information, of knowledge, of report of the moment throughout the globe, and we find out there aren't illnesses that are seasonal like we were taught. We're learning a lot of stuff. I need to have another drink of water. Excuse me. Told you I'm really thirsty. You should see the amount of water I have consumed. It's crazy. My daughter too. My daughter as well. Yeah. Um, okay. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you. Welcome. Wow, everything seems like it's different. I can, excuse me, I can, in a very real sense, feeling something big is happening. Yeah, dude, Tommy, there's a lot of big things happening right now at the same time too, and that's what makes it feel so much stronger. Um, they showed me these visions of um, inside, like the depths of the energy of what is this place in conflict in California. I'm not being political. I'm bringing this up because this is what they showed me. Um, there's a light that's swelling, and it's about to, and it's as if there's a need to dissipate some old energy there. Now, I'm not condoning or saying anything at all about it. I send so much love to everybody, and I, it's awful what some of the things that end up happening, but I'm just showing you this is something that I was shown, so we can see that this is one of the things that's happening. This is also linked to some amazing massive crystalline pyramids that have been in the depths of the soil that are rising somehow. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening on the planet. They've been showing us so many things. I know a lot of us have been reporting heightened connection with spirit, uh, telepathy, um, uh, along with the telepathy stuff starts to come on. We do end up having like often there's like a lot of like head discomfort, ocular, like so around the eye. There's a lot of this third eye area stuff that's happening. We're already having activations with the hippocampus, which is if you touch your finger, if you would even want to go all the way through to point to the back where almost the end of your brain, that's where the hippocampus is, and where it's the long-term memory. It's connected to returning you to your akashic, to your soul memory, and this is activating and also releasing areas of the brain, so that's already occurring. And then with foresight and this telepathy and stuff that's coming on right now, it's causing a lot of people to have discomfort in the like the head area. So I've been very much guided to just remember to consume salt. I actually consume quite a bit of salt. It's not table salt. That's very clear. Clear statement I want to make. I use pink Himalayan salt. There's Celtic salt. I've never had a thing against Celtic salt. I've always used the pink. And when I was considering the need to get the Celtic salt, Spirit, said, don't worry about it. So there also isn't anything wrong with the gray salt either. I know that there's a lot of smear campaigns going on about that right now. But I'm not getting that that's correct. So anyway, salt and water really, really help. I was guided to do it. What I'll do is I'll like hold it in my mouth for a while. You can have really salty water, or even just put salt in your mouth and like hold it on your tongue for a bit, and then kind of rinse it out, and then swallow it. And this relieves all kinds of indigestion issues, and it relieves headaches, it relieves sinus difficulties. A lot of times we'll notice a lot of things happening for us, so just this is how many people have said this is the first time I've ever had this telepathy before, and it's coming online, and I've noticed mine's increasing too. Beautiful insights about the wild foods, Mila. I just picked a dandelion, wild violet, and rose petal salad today. My body really lights up when I eat these plants. It knows. That's awesome. Thanks so much for saying that, Joshua. Yeah, it's crazy. It's this manna. I think that was what tickled me the most. I'm so happy that word came back. That's probably why they used that word, because it made an impression on me. So it was meant to. I send my channel when I talk, especially when I'm doing these lives or sessions or group meetings. I'm always in at least semi-channeling state. Sometimes it's a shared conversation, like you see some of those examples of twins um, completing sentences together. It's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah. Anyone have, yeah, Olivia, I just talked to anyone having serious headaches. Exactly. Yeah. And the salt really helps. It really, really does. It's crazy. It's got to do with whatever's being activated on the roof of our mouth and having also to do with the jaws. And so it's connected to the sinuses, which these are in their own way connected to these sinuses. But in the middle, there's this big light that's your third eye. And like, so it looks kind of like an infinity symbol. And then, like your pineal gland in the middle. It's crazy. So anyway, it really helps to help that whole thing with a little bit of salt. So Vegan Vixen says, I feel so strange when I go out to the shops. I know, right? It just feels so unreal and disorienting. Anyone else? Yes. Yes. It is so, yeah. Right now, as things have changed, there's this thing going on out there where this is what the symbolism that in visuals, and I just laugh so hard at some of these things that they show me, and I just love it. It's funny. I like funny. Is so we as awakening people were getting a sip of water at a watering fountain, and like some of the people who began their awakening more than a decade ago were getting a very small stream of water, and they were also able to like take breaks and digest that stuff. And then, closer and closer to 2020, everyone was getting a bigger and bigger stream of water. And though that had become so almost seeming impossible to consume simultaneously at the same time, right? Now it's like the fire hydrant's been loosed. That really strong flood of water is shooting out the side. That's the drink. That's the drink that these guys are getting. They've been talking about this since 2020, and telling me to talk about that message over and over and over again, and here we are. And so they're walking around in WTF land, they're walking around in OMG, the crazy cat lady was right. My crazy aunt was right. The crazy garden person was right. Like I was called the garden lady. That was my name. The crazy garden lady though. And anyway, and they start coming and asking questions now. What crystal do I use for this? Or, my daughter had this dream. What does it mean? And da da da. They're starting to ask and wonder. Yeah. So Deborah's having the same. Yeah. So we're going out in these energies, and it's a lot for us. Though, it kind of feels like we're supposed to, at least a little bit, as much as we can. We can still do this remotely, though it's so much better. And they notice you. Like you notice you so a lot more than before. Like wherever you go, the strangers, they don't know you. No one knows who you are. And yet it seems like everybody's looking at you. For the first second or so, you start to think, do I have something on my face? But people are genuinely noticing from afar as you enter grocery stores and stuff now, and they're drawn to us. It's really funny. I mean, funny I don't mean it as unkind or anything, but to watch them try to decide what to do about it. Because they really just want to come up to you and talk to you. They just want to come. And sometimes they do, but most of the time they resist. But they kind of stalk you. It's weird. So anyway, it's this moth to a flame thing that spirit was telling me about. It's like the moth to the flame when you're shining your light brighter. So I am so thirsty. I'm sure other people are too. Crazy storms. Yeah, dude. Crazy storms, then sunshine, then crazy storms again. Kind of like all the symptoms we are having. It just keeps going around in circles, laugh out loud. But we are all good. And thank you so much for being. I'm looking for the other part of your comment. Well, I thank you for being. I'm sure that was correct. Yeah, that's really interesting. I've been noticing there's a lot of things that need to activate and connect to the offshore connections that Florida has, and these codes have these signals haven't been able to flow correctly for a really long time, and now they can. There have been some Bermuda resolutions, fixings that have occurred, and so there should be a pathway or a toroidal field is what it actually is that connects and stabilizes energy there. So it's kind of expected to have heightened shifting planetarily speaking while that's happening. It's very fascinating. Thank you. Hello, Denise. Hello, beautiful. Many blessings to all. Good to see you, Denise. Welcome. Cloudy but pleasant. Oh, so sorry, you're talking to somebody else. Hello, Julie. Welcome. Deborah says, feels like we are waking up from a crazy dream. Oh, yes, it really does. It really does. It's that. And it's funny because the beings and individuals and people or in your dreams that used to seem to be playing a part, you know, like they've had a role, and like everybody, that was the sister, that was the mother, they're starting to like look at you different in these dreams and be like, almost like you would look at someone who had been experiencing dementia related difficulties or memory loss kind of stuff. Do you remember me? Do you know who I am now? Like there's that in the dream. It's really cool. I just think it's fun. So yeah, and then just all kinds of recollection that's happening and downloads, dude. So I've got this for a while, but just to give you guys a little bit of so today, happy Father's Day for all the fathers, by the way. Happy Father's Day. I almost forgot to say that. Today is the end of what they call the respite. This is the pit stop. Respite is pit stop. Pit stop doesn't really mean resting exactly, but it's replenishing. You got refilled in your stores of energies, because now we're moving into between the 16th and the well, the rest of the month, but the 25th in that chunk that Spirit was talking about. So we're here now. So things are going to feel like they're stabilizing a bit more, but in a different way. We're going to be moving and having those kinds of symptoms and stuff. There's some significant things to note that you want to maybe pay attention this week. There's a double star. It's this cool star planet conjunction, so it's in the excuse me, I always seem to have to look extra close for some reason. I have to see this. Mars will pass very close to Regulus. There we go. I wrote Mars in the wrong spot. So anyway, but that's in Leo. But that happens on the 17th. Then on the 18th, there's a conjunction of the Moon and Neptune. Then on the 19th, there's a triple conjunction. The triple conjunction is the Moon, Saturn, and Neptune. And it'll be in the Eastern pre-dawn sky if anyone wants to see it. This triple conjunction is pretty awesome. That's happening on a very significant day. That's the 19th. That's the eve of the solstice, the June solstice, which for Central Standard Time, my time, that is 9:42 p.m. On the 20th. It is the 21st of June at 2:42 UTC time. You want to be able to translate that. And then there's a grand trine on the 21st, Pluto, Mercury, and Mars. And there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening for that. Then the 22nd, there's a conjunction of Moon and Venus. There's also this the conjunction of the seven sisters. Moon meets the seven sisters. The 27-day-old moon will be meeting the seven sisters, and because it's so um, uh, far into its life, it's going to be really small, really thin, kind of like a Cheshire cat or something like that. And so you're going to be able to see it really well, is what I'm saying. So anyway, there's a lot. There's more. Jupiter has, there's a Jupiter Kazemi on the 24th, and there's a lot, is all I'm saying. And I only bring all these things up because these are gifts. If you have the moment, if you can spare 5 minutes on one of these or all of these days to just be in your own breath, to be in just in the moment, focusing on your breath. You don't have to be listening to anything, you could just be, and just for 5 minutes, you can use these cool energy windows to assist you, to recalibrate and to balance you, and also to get a lot of these upgrades and downloads and those kinds of things that are happening for us all. So I know that was a lot of rambling. I really wanted to get that in. Oh, also, for some reason in this house, we always celebrate June 15th as Planet Day. I don't know if we found it somewhere or just decided one day. Probably because we've just never really had any reason to celebrate a Father's Day. So I don't know, but the 15th doesn't, it is specifically the 15th. So anyway, there's that. There's a lot going on though. Anyway, let me move on. I've been going on for a long time. That's 3:33 p.m. right now. I fell asleep around me too. I fell asleep around 5 a.m. too. Exactly. It was right after, probably 5:30 was when I'm guessing it was, but it was around 5 that I was finally getting to sleep this morning. I slept for 2 hours, woke up 2 hours later, and then stayed awake for 2 hours, and then went back to sleep again for 2 hours. And then here we are, like it was very crazy. Even felt something kind of not sure pop out of my right shoulder or arm. Was just surprised. Wow. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of purging happening right now. And I'm also feeling this motion. These things it's weird. It's really weird, right? We're pushing out and purging a lot of stuff right now. It's not even, it's weird. It looks kind of like, let's say you have a sponge that contains an ingredient that can be in like oil but not water or something like that, right? And as you move through the layers of different liquids, then that element that can't be in the next element is dragged down and pulled out. And so we're not even having to do any of the work. It's not like we have to push the stuff out. It does assist in accelerating the experience though. And that is to say, to do even a gentle parasite cleanse. That's the guidance. All of us can use it. And I'm not talking about, going and doing even like things like that are pharmaceutical related or even, but why not get yourself some wormwood, whole cloves and black walnut. Those three together, that's a super awesome parasite cleanse. Remember to maybe have some oregano with it, or parsley, or diatomaceous earth or charcoal, or there's a bunch of different types of binders. Turmeric with freshly ground black pepper. These types of things are good binders. Anyway, talking about this because many of us are having increased ascension symptoms due to this pulling away that is kind of like still kind of feeling like it's clinging on. So that can really help. So hello, Lavender Sky Panther. Hi, all. Last couple of days brought unusual dreams, and the kind that go on for a bit are hard to break out of. Yeah. And of course, not sleeping, up all hours, so tired, many days in a row. Thank you very, very much for your comment. And pardon me. For those of you who didn't catch it, Lavender Sky Panther was on the show in this awesome group conversation that we had a couple of days ago. What day was that? It's been crazy. I think it was Friday. Yeah. So if you do get a chance, check it out. It was a really good conversation. I still haven't gone back and added a description to that video. Man, we've been having some spikes. I actually counted on Friday the 13th. I counted. There were 9 spikes of 6. 9 times it went to 6.333, and 2 times. Oh, and then additional 3 times it spiked near 8. Like 8 some, or 7. A lot. 7 point a lot. I can't remember. I didn't actually write that part down, but I did notice that it was close to 8. Anyway, those spikes all started happening, and that was Friday the 13th. So we had a really good conversation about Friday the 13th, and I think it's really interesting because while we were live, were some of the biggest spikes that were happening on that day. and Lavender Sky Panther joined me. It was a really good show, so thank you for coming. Hello, Wendy. Good to see you. Hello, sweet Mila. Got you live. Hello, tribe. Welcome. Good to see you here. Hi from New Zealand, says Lisa. Beautiful family. My neck's been super sore for days. Yeah. Also, a lot of people, and including myself, having things like it feels like a rash or something really kind of sore, and also like almost like ingrown hair kind of things going on there, all the way down. Some people have reported all the way down their spine, like down the spine. So a lot of this is happening. This has to do with the purging of the brain stem as a result of the activations that we're getting in the hippocampus, which is between the brain stem and the third eye, the pineal gland. So it's bringing more light to the pineal gland, which is turning on the foresight, better telepathy for those who are aligned for such a thing, that everyone can be, so it's just wherever you're at. And so my point here is that this is all turning on, and it's purging because this light's becoming so immense and swelling up around it. The shadow cannot stand before the light. Love is light and light is love. There is no separating the two. And so this particular swell of energy is pushing off this shadow. It's like shadow. I'm going to call it something. I would like to have a better word, but it has that Peter Pan shadow look to it, to me, and so it doesn't feel like really bad, but it was responsible, or largely a part of, at the very least, low self-worth talk, having to do with, in the back of my mind, thinking low of myself, not good enough kind of conversations, low self capabilities, won't measure up kind of things. Most of the time, it always came from these little energies here that siphoned off the receptor sites that exist here in this area of the brain. So and also that has a lot to do with the alcoholic and addiction and monkey on my back story. Now that we're purging these things, we're going to be able to raise our frequency up higher, because there's not going to be always somebody pushing our face back down in the mud, and so as we do that, we also purge on a physical level. It does kind of look like a ferret. These things kind of look like the shape and size of a small ferret, and they're like smoke. And anyway, they're leaving. And as a result, we're going to notice this purging with acne, rashes, weird eczema type stuff. I've talked to people who said that the hairline at the base of their hair back here is it's falling out because they're scratching it so much because it's so itchy. I do not suggest that you do that. I'm going to give you a suggestion though, because if that's you, all you got to do is get half a cup of, now I'm going to question myself. I said it wrong once. I said canola oil, and I know I don't have that in my house. It's castor oil. Half a cup of castor oil, half a cup of coconut oil, and 10 drops of rosemary oil. And you mix that up. You don't need to use all of it at once. You just use a bit of it. But you put that on your scalp, and it not only does it cause regrowth of hair, it strengthens the pre-existed there the hair you got, and it makes it feel softer and better. And also it heals the skin. Like it helps this eczema or rashes and stuff go away. I'm not above saying also, just because it works on your head doesn't mean you can't put it someplace else. You know what I mean? Like, it works so well at healing the skin, and causing regrowth of hair that hadn't been there before. And with using that, you want to leave it on as long as you can. And what I mean by as long as you can, people will usually do it like put it in like midday or so and leave it until, dinner or whatever, and maybe take a shower before you go to bed. When I've done it, I usually just put one of those nighttime bonnet things on and just just sleep like that. And then, shower the next morning because I look like that. My hair is completely greasy, right? Anyway, so that's my 2 cents for that, because so many people have been writing, and I can't respond to all of your emails. I'm literally only looking at like the subject lines, and like I'm like kind of noticing, and I'm sending you love, but I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a day are talking about this. So I think it's very interesting. So I just want to share that with everybody, and that's the guidance for it. Brain farts. Yeah. It's been a lot of crazy stuff. Brain farts, moments of like completely forgetting what we're doing, where we are. Hello, good to see you, Margaret. Also, like that thing about, going into the room, not knowing why you're there, and we're talking about every age group. Hello, Deborah. Lisa, my neck is also sore. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of us are having this. Also, this is like upper back and shoulder area. Like, I'm noticing more and more that my spine is wanting to shift quite a lot. Like I'm like, it's very interesting. Sorry I'm late. That's okay. Thirsty me too today. I thought it was what I ate. Yeah, very thirsty. It's crazy. Sat with my feet on the ground on a grounding mat and stuffing my face with a plant-based chocolate cake. All right. Sounds awesome. Releasing tensions they build up over time. Gotta get them out to make room for the new ones to come. That's exactly correct. Shell says this explains a lot, as I've had the severe PTSD reactions and felt I was disassociating and not in my body for the past few days. I know what triggered. It was a comment about my shadow. I was dealing with. Sorry, click it. I was dealing with my shadow, brutal man. Yeah. Well, I can say that I'm very, very glad that you're honoring this, and we don't always like to hear this, that triggers our activations, and they're usually gifts. I am not someone who suggests or agrees to anyone who intentionally pushes someone's buttons. This is not what I'm saying. But when we naturally, without intention, cause a triggering of someone, we're assisting them in an activation. And so it's really cool that you've seen that within it and you're able to bring it forward. Yeah. It feels very, very much like PTSD. It can be very, if you feel helpless. And when we start to feel that helplessness and in these places of where we feel like more fragile, it can be a giving away of our power and into the fear. that happens, and we do it naturally. And so it's learning how to not. It's learning how to be here, and that everything that we're now choosing in our manifestation. Sore mouth, tongue, and gums. Yes, yes. Top of the mouth, and a lot of people have been reporting specifically the jaw joint, whatever that is. That's been for my whole life since I was first, and starting. I got into the medical field a little bit. I didn't complete the course that I was planning to do, but enough. And from that point on, I've always forgotten that word. Anyway, as well as most of the time, the gums that are on the top are the ones that are being noticed. So there's been 2 people who said the bottom ones, and a particular side as well, either the right or the left. It just depends on the person too. I've noticed it just at the top, and also like the back. I had some weird throat stuff happening last night too, and like early this morning, I was really noticing like my throat started to feel irritated. At the very same moment that my daughter did. The fact that it was like right that same moment, there was something else going on. And that's when I looked and saw the Schumann resonance spiking. Excuse me. Is table salt bad for you? Yeah. Or is it just demineralized? It's also, so the type of chemical stripping that they have to do to demineralize it and make it iodized. It's not iodine in there. The word that they use is intentionally misleading, like the word. Anyway, so yeah, it's something I try to avoid. On occasion, that's what happens. If you go out to eat, they're gonna have put that kind of salt in there when they're cooking it, probably. So on occasion, I don't go out to eat very often. I just recently did, and I am still regretting it. I am still regretting it. Yeah, the time is speeding, hours, days going very, very fast. I know, to keep track of these things, it's almost impossible. Today it feels like Wednesday, but I'm not sure which Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, by the way, Elsa's coming on this week on the Wednesday show. And then I did need to respond to Guardian. Guardian is for sure coming on solstice on the 20th. And then, I'm also going to invite our other friend, Yolanda Marie. I just haven't done it yet. I'm just doing it publicly. I'll reach out to Yolanda though and see. I should give her a little bit more warning. Anyway, if you, it's going to be a couple of great, awesome shows. But I also wanted to point something out is that on the solstice, I'm going to do a group meditation that everyone's invited to join. There is, it's going to be a Zoom meeting. So if you're going to want to be there, then you want to come to the Zoom meeting. I will record the audio of it, of just not the talking part, but we're having conversation because we always talk for a while first. However, I will record the meditation, and that's only to share it to share it on Telegram with all of you. So these meditations are always super profound, and they're always channeled. And so there is a love donation request, but if this is not possible and your pockets are empty, we still want you to come. All right. So anyhow, I have not translated the time zones for everybody because I usually don't do meetings this late. I'm doing it this late because I want to be in meditation at the moment of solstice. And solstice for me starts exact at 9:42 p.m. So we will have started probably the meditation, at 9:30. So that way we're in the meditation, which means we'll be starting the meditation group at 8:30 Central Time. So that's 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 7:30 p.m. Mountain time. That's 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And let's see. Anyway, I can't do all the other ones. I can't right now. I can't think of it. So anyway, I will post an announcement in um, Telegram as well as in the community section of my YouTube channel. And so, and with that, I'll also have the link of that. It's going to be a really great meditation. And if you don't get a chance to show up live, I really, really hope that you do it. I feel like this is going to be a really strong and useful one. There's going to be a lot of balancing that's going to happen in this meditation that we can all use. Let's be honest, right? So, cannot believe this hour's already sped by. Time is speeding. Yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, and then that was the comment we were just responding to. Exactly. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, so I'm just gonna move down for a bit and like, hello, Car, good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Yay, a lot of dream work being done. Yeah, dude, so much going on. It's crazy. Yeah, it's Father's Day here. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Some fathers are women. Some fathers are you know. Thank you, all of you who assist and help. You know, um, and it takes a village to raise a child, right? And the outpouring of love from you, you know, I my daughter is really she tickled when she hears that. Anyway, I tell her when you guys mention her, um, and oh yeah, the Schumann has been crazy, dude. You know, it just tickles her to know that you guys know who she is and that you care and that you love her. You know, and it means the world to her. Um, that I got enough donations to get her the swing, and she just spends all of her time out there. It's crazy. She stopped going outside when we first moved here. She wasn't acclimated yet, and it got worse because we started turning on the air conditioner, and it was just bad. And so she's gone back outside so much that she actually got sunburned. Not really badly, just slightly, but enough because her body's not used to seeing the sun. And so I'm just so happy. She's good. She's good though. She's happy. And I'm so grateful to you all because now we're out there. And it also did help a lot that there was somebody who was living directly beside us who shared the fence that separated us, but it was an invisible fence because it was this, one of those chain link fences. And it was a very uncomfortable energy, and everything's changed now. And so I've had a fire pit since I moved in here, and I'd not used it. And then we got the swing and put the swing up for her, and she's just so happy. And she wanted me to tell you all thank you. Thank you all for your donations to give her the most amazing birthday present ever, and that's a swing. That was so cool. That was what she wanted, and she was able to, receive her wish. That's like magical, It's like a story that reminds me of the stories people tell about like wanting a pony for their birthday and they get it, So happy Maddie is swinging. Me too, Wendy. I'm so happy she's going out again, and then because I as a mom, I want to pass all the time, right? But as a mom, there's like this part of me that's like, I always feel like I got to get back to where my kid's at, like, or in the nearer vicinity, you know what I mean? And it's just, now I can be out there a lot longer and feel happy, and I can be gardening and doing my, outside time. I don't like boxes, and I look at buildings like as boxes. There's boxes inside the boxes because there's rooms carved in too, like I like getting out of the box. And so it's so great. And so you all delivered this gift to me as well. And so I thank you all so much. And I love that you guys are all shouting out to her. She's gonna be so happy. I'm gonna tell her. Here, I'm gonna go down the line so she can see this part. So that's so awesome to hear that Maddie has gotten her swing, says Joshua. Group high vibe, tribe hug, and shout out to Maddie's Lavender Sky Panther. So happy Maddie is swinging, says Wendy. Soul Giraffe, we love you, Maddie. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you. Cara says, thank you, Maddie, for sharing your mom with us all. Beautiful girl. Oh, thank you. Shells, I'm really happy for her. She sounds wonderful. Joy says, beautiful, Maddie. Swing sets are magical, Lavender Sky Panther. I used to swing for hours, Rose Matter says, when I was a kid. That's awesome. She got one. Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you all for your love and outpouring appreciation. And she's going to love that. I'm going to show that to her. And I see MJ, glad to catch you live. Have we been on the rise of energy since literally June 1st? Yes. Oh, it's been crazy. And it's just going to get more intense. Incray is incredibly intense or crazily intense. Crazy and intense. There we go. Incray. Anyway, yeah, and then this is the last day. I don't know if you were here when I said this is the last day of what they call the respite. The respite isn't like what we think. We're not like laying out on the beach, with umbrellas and cocktails in our hands kind of stuff on some tropical island. The respite for spirit, when they use that word, it's more like a cockpit when you like are racing. Those old video games. I'm sure it's like there's like that. I never watched NASCAR, so I can't actually tell you that it's reference to that, but I'm sure it is. Anyway, they have to pull in and like get their tires fixed really fast, and they get recharged. They get refilled. All of their stores are back to full capacity, and that's what we've been doing this week. And today's the last of those days, and we're moving into the next series of activation. So it's going to be even more. It's like pre like Lionsgate is what it feels like. And Lionsgate can be really awesome if we know ahead of time why we're feeling this way. And that's why I spent so much time today on these topics. I did unfortunately miss a lot of your comments. But this is where this is useful, because if we are aware that what is happening, these flashbacks, these PTSD-like things that are happening, if we're aware that they're for us to not to own them, they're not there for us to decipher them, to dissect them, to pull them apart. They're not there for those purposes. They're there for to be released. They just need to be acknowledged. They existed. They happened. Even if you don't recall this happening, even because a lot of these things that we're doing, also remembering a lot of these purgings that we're releasing of moments that come up to be released, a lot of them aren't from this lifetime. And so that makes it even seem more what could be worded as almost horrific feeling, because you're having these flashes of trauma or difficulty that had occurred in previous incarnations, previous lifetimes. And so it can feel like, I know that the first word that a lot of people call these things are psychic attacks until they understand what's occurring. It can be mistaken as that, and just, being aware. So as these things come up, they just want to be acknowledged, that there's no balancing of the scales. There's no righted to be, to be made right. There's no anything. It just happened. Can it be changed? No, that timeline, it happened. What do you do now? It just is. And so let it be. Without judgment. That's the word that they use. Archangel Michael and Mother Mary use this word and describe to me, explain, help me understand what it means. And that's to decide a thing about a thing when we judge something, because judging something holds it in place. It can't go when we're judging it. And a lot of times we use the word judgment and we think we're, oh, did you hear about, that kind of gossipy stuff? That's not what we're talking about. It's deciding anything. Is it blue? Is it red? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it, night? Is it day? Deciding something about it will keep it there. And it feels like it has a loyalty or some type of devotion to you. So when you pull it in and shove it down and not let it be seen on its way out or try to decide something about it, it pulls it into you, and then it says, oh, you really need me, I'll hang out, and it sticks around. And it feels like a loyalty. So anyway, being aware of those moments as they come in can be really helpful, because then when you know what's happening, you don't have to buy into the other stuff. You don't have to buy into, like the uncomfortable elements of it, because then we start to create, because we manifest our reality. We truly do, on a subtle level as well as a grander one, is, that is rarely accessed to its fullest capacity and awareness. But in the meantime, we can affect this very, very thing, and the deciding of, we are going to release it, we're going to heal it, we're going to let it move on. And when we do, it goes, instead of the other way around. You know what I mean? So happy, says Lisa, for Maddie. I used to swing. Oh yeah, I think I already said. Did I already have yours? I always used to, for hours as a child, always felt like I was flying. No, someone else said something similar as well. Yeah, swinging is a really, I'm so happy we're able to get that for her, because we'd been having to go to the park, but it's like we're in a small enough town that the park is not like well maintained, and so it just feels, I'm happy that she can go and play in her backyard. Having a backyard is a big deal. When we were in Washington, it was just concrete, and there was a little strip where they used to have grass that they filled with gravel, and like, we have a yard, and it's not been used for a year, so I'm so happy. Anyway, I should get going. I should, speaking of Maddie, I always tell her when I'm doing shows, I don't want her out playing, so I need to let her loose, let her go play. So if anyone is interested in joining any of the meditations in the future, please contact me if you'd like. Regarding the Tuesday group, we have a group that meets every Tuesday. That's a love donation subscription based kind of thing. There's a suggested donation of like $33, or so. Everybody has different amounts that they can offer, and so I just want people to have access to these healings. If you are interested in joining this group, that we meet every Tuesday, every week for the Northern Hemisphere, so it will be every Wednesday for the Southern Hemisphere. And we usually start 30 minutes from this time right now, which is the starting time for me for that particular meeting is 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to do a translation for your time zone, all you got to do is say 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to, and then you type in, AEST or whatever, and it'll tell you, and then you can get a translation. It helps to know. So love you all. Thank you all for being here. I'm so happy that we were able to connect, and I'm sorry I didn't get to stay longer to read all of the comments. I will go back and read them later on, but I gotta get going. Let her go play. Oh wait, did I grab this one? I saw this. Higher vibrations. I haven't watched your videos in probably a year. You are glowing. Your light is radiating into the world. It is so beautiful to see. Heartfelt. Thank you, Julie. Wow. That is very beautiful. I really appreciate that. Interesting. I do feel much more euphoric and blissful than I ever have. And it's getting better. And it's a good thing to be aware of, that it's getting better for everybody, a little bit at a time, because sometimes we forget and it feels like we're doing um, this, what we're doing, we're going to be doing for a lot longer than we actually will be. It's I've always said I can do anything as long as I have an expiration date. Like, as long as I know how long I'm going to do it. Not knowing, for me, was one of the most difficult things to do, until I finally realized that, well, Spirit showed me that it's a stairway, and every step is required in order to continue to move the motion forward. And each step, is addressing another element of it and another element of it, and so each time we take that step, we have ascension symptoms. So to answer the question is, are ascension symptoms ever going to go away? The way that you're experiencing them are, but we're ever evolving. And this is I've heard this from a lot of other people too. It's not just from me, but what my guides tell me, I'm so thirsty. What my guides tell me is that this is the first time that a population, a species, a world population has ascended in the same body, meaning not to need to die. You get to stay. You get to be this body. You get to be in this body and, ascend, transcend. It's amazing. So anyway, thank you for the lovely gathering and all that you do for us. Thank you. Thank you all. Sending you all so much love. We're going to go swing now. Happy Father's Day once again. Happy Planet Day. And, buckle up, enjoy the ride. I'm putting my hands up. I'm that person. Like, it's going to be fun. I know this is going to be a really fun week, and there may be times where you're realizing that you bit off more than you can chew. Maybe don't go to that barbecue, or whatever it is. If, just being aware that sometimes these energies come in, do what you can to create flexibility during this week. So, I got to grab this one really quick. Good to see you, Carmen. I've been drinking 4 to 5 liters of juice and water. Yeah, dude, I am so thirsty. That's actually part of why I'm rushing to go off, because I'm going to guzzle so much water. I am so parched. I'm sending you all so much love. Aho blessings.